Whatever happened to Ingrid Bergman? How Ingrid Bergman became Hollywood's exile. Ingrid Bergman has become one of Hollywood's legendary names, a byword for a radiant, wholesome beauty with a great natural acting talent. Midway through her career, her wholesome image suffered because of her extramarital affair with Roberto Rossellini, but she triumphantly came back with her public adoration intact. She appeared in many high-quality movies in the course of her career, but she will always be remembered for her role in Casablanca as Ilsa Lund opposite Humphrey Bogart's Blaine. Ingrid was nominated for Academy Awards 7 times in all, twice winning the Best Actress award and once winning the award for Best Supporting Actress. Only Katharine Hepburn has bested her in the number of wins. In addition, she has won 4 Golden Globes, 2 Emmys, and a Tony, and she was voted number 4 in the AFI's list of best actresses of all time. She was born in Stockholm, Sweden, on August 29, 1915 to a Swedish father and a German mother. Her mother died when Ingrid was 3 years old and, being an only child, she learned to create a circle of imaginary friends. Her father, who ran a camera shop, died when she was 13, and Ingrid lived first with an unmarried aunt and then with an uncle and aunt who had 5 children. Within 7 years she was one of the leading movie stars in Sweden and had refused several offers from Hollywood. Finally, in 1939, at the age of 24, Miss Bergman agreed to do a film for David O. Selznick. It was Intermezzo, with Leslie Howard. She returned to Sweden to her husband, who was then a dentist, and their daughter, Pia. When she was 17, the tall, young beauty successfully auditioned for the government-sponsored Royal Dramatic School, but after her first year, after appearing as an extra in the 1932 film Landskamp, she decided that her future lay in movies rather than the theatre, and she left the Royal Dramatic Theatre to become a full-time film actress. She had to wait another year for her first film role, which was in the Swedish movie Munkbrogreven, and from then on she was guided by the Swedish director Gustaf Molander. Her ascent was swift, and within 7 years her fresh, wholesome beauty and natural, unaffected acting style had endeared her to the Swedish public, making her one of the leading movie stars in the country. She made 12 films in Sweden, as well as 1 in Germany, the most important by far being Intermezzo in 1936, which was the first in which she could realize her immense potential as an actress capable of both romance and passion, and it was seen by Hollywood producer David O. Selznick. Remake rights for Hollywood were purchased by Selznick International, and Bergman was included in the deal. She had married in 1937 Petter Lindster M., a dentist, and their daughter, Pia Lindster M., was born in September of the following year. When Ingrid set off for her new career in Hollywood in 1938, she left her husband and infant daughter behind. Her Hollywood career was launched by the remake of Intermezzo in 1939, as Intermezzo, a love story, in which she co-starred with Leslie Howard, and the film immediately made her a major Hollywood name. Audiences loved her unforced, natural beauty, seemingly without makeup, and they responded to the romantic intensity of her performance. She continued the successful start to her Hollywood career with 3 well-received films in 1941, Adam Had 4 Sons, Rage in Heaven, and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and she also appeared on the Broadway stage in Lilium in 1940 and in Eugene O'Neill's Anna Christie in 1941. Her career was going well, and it was about to get even better. In 1942, Ingrid appeared in Casablanca as Ilsa Lund opposite Humphrey Bogart's Blaine. It was to become the role by which everyone would remember her, and one which suited her acting style in portraying a tortured woman in love, in an ultimately doomed, wartime romance. Ingrid did not enjoy making the movie. She asked the director, Michael Curtiz, who she was supposed to be in love with, Humphrey Bogart or Paul Henreid. Curtiz helpfully told her to play it in the middle. Although she and Bogart became a byword for the romantic on-screen couple, it was in reality just good acting. She said, "I kissed him, but I never knew him." Nevertheless, the movie established her position as one of the top female stars in Hollywood. Ingrid was now the #1 box office attraction in Hollywood, and over the next few years she appeared in a succession of quality, hit movies. In 1943 she received her first Oscar nomination for Best Actress in For Whom the Bell Tolls, co-starring with Gary Cooper, and in 1944 she won the Best Actress award for her portrayal of a persecuted woman in Gaslight. She continued with another, third consecutive, nomination in 1945, for her moving performance as a nun in The Bells of St. Mary's, co-starring with Bing Crosby as a priest. Her successes continued for the rest of the decade. She made 2 films for Alfred Hitchcock, firstly with Gregory Peck in Spellbound in 1945 and then the following year with Cary Grant in Notorious. She also performed a 6-month run in Joan of Lorraine on Broadway, winning a Best Actress Tony Award. She repeated the role in the movie version in 1948 and was again nominated for the Academy Best Actress Award. Ingrid was now a much-loved public figure and it appeared a perfect example of righteous womanhood. It appeared that she could do no wrong, although in reality she had had a passionate affair with the photographer Robert Capa as well as with the movie director, Victor Fleming. Her wholesome public image took a major knock in 1950 when she appeared in Stromboli, filmed in Italy. She fell in love with the director Roberto Rossellini and, both married, they sought divorces in order to marry each other. Before they got married, Ingrid gave birth to their son, Roberto, in 1951. The conservative American public expressed outrage and Ingrid decided to remain in Italy where she married Rossellini and in 1952 had twins, Isata and Isabella. She made 2 more films with Rossellini, Europa 51 in 1952 and Viaggio in Italia in 1954. They were not well received in America, although praised by the critics. It is ironic that in many of the movies which made her famous, Ingrid portrayed adultery in a romantic way, but when it occurred in her own life, the public pilloried her. Ingrid and Rossellini eventually drifted apart and Ingrid stayed in Europe to work with Jean Renoir in a light romance, Elena et les Hommes, now generally regarded as a brilliant work of art, but coolly received at the time. In 1956 Ingrid came back into public favor with Anastasia and won a 2nd Academy Award for Best Actress. She returned to America, still a major star after an absence of 7 years and with Hollywood again at her feet. Ingrid was able to pick and choose her roles and in 1958 she appeared in Indiscreet, co-starring with Cary Grant and also another successful film in the same year, The Inn of the Sixth Happiness. She married again in 1958, to Lars Schmidt, a theatrical producer from her native Sweden, and for the remainder of her career she divided her time between the theater and film and television work. In the early 1960s she worked closely with Lars Schmidt in theatrical productions such as The Turn of the Screw and 24 Hours in a Woman's Life, and she became a welcome regular on London's West End stage. She co-starred in 1965 with Sir Michael Redgrave in A Month in the Country and in 1973 with Sir John Gielgud in The Constant Wife. Ingrid's 3rd Academy Award was for Best Supporting Actress in Killer on the Orient Express in 1974. In 1975 her marriage to Lars Schmidt ended and she was first diagnosed with breast cancer. She refused to stop doing what she loved best, which was acting, and in 1978 she gave an inspiring performance as a concert pianist struggling to decide between career and family, in Autumn Sonata, for which she received her 7th Academy Award nomination. Her last appearance was in 1982, another brilliant performance, on television, as Golda Meir, in A Woman Called Golda. Ingrid Bergman passed away peacefully on August 29, 1982, at the age of 67. It was her birthday. Ingrid Bergman's career won her 3 Oscars and the adoration of millions of people. When she first started in Hollywood her natural style, seeming not to act, was in direct contrast to the more formal acting styles current at the time. She was a breath of fresh air in a stylized world and she reaped the benefits. The so-called scandal of her Rossellini years passed long ago and she is now remembered as one of the most beautiful and talented actresses that Hollywood has ever seen. Rest in peace Ingrid Bergman, goodbye legend.